What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Um, Sorry that I make my apologies as per fucking usual. Being slack with you guys. Um, I'm planning to make a couple of like kind of feature match videos heading into Wrestlemania. I haven't had time. Um, Private life has been a bit mad. I've not been in the flat the last couple of days just because I've been out and about. Um, so I'm gonna do one feature match video, which I'll do after this video, and I'm just gonna do a preview of this whole WrestleMania card as I see it. WrestleMania is a weird one this year because on the face of it, the card is shit. I mean, it's shit. Let's be honest. There's no match that you can say to yourself, I'm looking forward to ordering this. You may remember I made a video maybe 3-4 weeks ago where I said I didn't really have a reason to order WrestleMania at this stage. And you know what? I stuck to it up until maybe a week after. And then I realized, I had this realization that I should order it, not because of what is on paper, a very shit WrestleMania card, but the possibilities that may result out of this card, and the things that may or may not happen in this card. Because I think the WrestleMania card looks so dead, but this is supposed to be one of their biggest WrestleManias. So my gut instinct says that there's going to be somebody that interferes, or not interferes, but gets involved in some of these featured main events, which will lead into Raw tomorrow, which I expect to be a very, 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 very good Raw. So I guess the only thing to do would be to just try and go into the matches and see what I think of them, and see how I see them playing out. So what's going to be on the tag team? Sorry, it's going to be on the pre-show. It's disappointing that certain decent matches like this are on the pre-show. I think the pre-show should be designed for the NXT stars, like your up and comers. Proper featuring them and giving them some big match experience on the grand stages. I think that's what pre-shows should be designed for. I'm going to talk more about that in a future video of mine, because I really think that's an important point. I just think sometimes you put too many matches that you would like to see on the pre-show. I just don't understand it. But anyway, what I've noticed of this card, throughout the card, is it was clearly a last minute put together card, because obviously they didn't account for things like CM Punk walking out on motherfuckers, and they didn't account on the reaction that Batista would be so negative, and they didn't count on the backlash that they were going to receive from this Daniel Bryan thing. So they had to rejiggle a lot of shit. Mark my words, this wasn't the plan for the tag team championships. But because I believe it would have been Usos versus the New Age Outlaws. For some reason that match is just gone. So now we've got this fatal four-way between the Usos, who are the champs, versus the Real Americans, Los Matadores, and Bareback and Axel. With the exception of Bareback and Axel, all fairly decent teams. They seem to have put a pause on the whole breaking up the Real Americans thing. I like them as a tag team. I don't like Swagger, but I like him with Cesaro. It's weird, that. And I know a lot of people feel the same. But yeah, I like the tag team. If Usos had to drop it, and I'd be very surprised if they dropped it, but if they had to drop it, then I would like the Real Americans to win. But I'd be very surprised if they dropped it, I must admit. It's amazing to me that Cesaro's only had one championship. I did think about that the other day. I can't believe he only has one championship. But I expect Usos to retain, usually in fatal four ways. You notice they tend to go with the champ who walks in, tends to be the champ that walks out, tends to be with fatal four ways. So I would expect Usos to win that. And then and it won't be the opener. This will probably be in between the main events, but this is just the order of importance that I'm going into now, in terms of the order I talk about these matches. Vicky Guerrero Divas title invitational. I think the one thing that we need to kind of focus on is that it's an invitational. So just because we know of the 10 to 12 divas that are going to be in this doesn't necessarily mean that there won't be room for surprises. Don't be surprised if Lita's in this match. Don't be surprised if Mickie James is in this match. Hell, don't be surprised if Beth fucking Phoenix isn't in this match. It did occur to me that, hold on, this is an invitational. So technically, she could still invite motherfuckers. I'm gonna probably back AJ to win this if there's no major features, i.e. if there's no major returns. Like I thought Mickie James might return for this and win the championship. I think it wouldn't be a good way to introduce Mickie James. What I'd actually quite like to do, and I have this feeling that they may go there, is that AJ will win this, then Raw the next night she's running her mouth, and then someone like Mickie James comes out to return. Call me crazy, that's what I think will happen. So I'm going to pick AJ to win now. Andre the Giant Battle Royal. RIP and all, but I really don't care. I really don't care. I know why they're doing this. Trying to give as many people a payday as possible, and that's good. It is. If there was like implications of winning this, i.e., I don't know, a title shot in the next pay-per-view, or had it mean something apart from a trophy, I think a lot more people would be interested in this. It's almost like a King in the Ring without it being a King in the Ring. But a lot of people said Big Show. A lot of people said can't remember his fucking name. That Karloff guy, is that his name? I can't remember his fucking name. That Bulgarian motherfucker. The NXT Bulgarian motherfucker. Could be him. I'm open-minded. I'm not really fussed too much, as long as I don't think it will be the Big Show, and nor do I necessarily think it should be the Big Show. I know a lot of people say, oh, they don't mind if it is the Big Show. It'd be a good way to pay respect. Fuck that. Give it to a new star. Let Big Show go far, but give it to someone new who would get the nice rub out of it. That's what I personally think. Use this opportunity to build stars. You need stars. So any slight opportunity you have to build a star, take it. So no, I disagree with people that say it should go to the Big Show. So yeah, I picked someone new. I know it's vague, I know it's a bit of a cop-out answer, but much like my interest in this match, I don't give a fuck. Next. Shield versus the Middle-Aged Outlaws, as they're being called around the IWC. Shield and Kane versus, the Shield versus Kane and the New Age Outlaws. The 6-man tag that they kind of put together last minute just to give Kane a Wrestlemania payout. Apparently this came about from the Shield requesting, New Age Outlaws requesting to work with the Shield. I don't expect this to be a good match. I've not liked any of the New Age Outlaws stuff since they came back. I was never a massive New Age Outlaws fan. I'm sorry, I just wasn't. I liked them as DX, but as by themselves, I've never been a big Road Dogg guy. Never. I was even less of a Billy Gunn guy. So all in all, I would probably expect that Kane and the New Age Outlaws will probably win by some sort of stupid finish that will involve maybe Dean Ambrose turning on the two members of the Shield. I have heard that they are wanting to go with a babyface Shield run for a little while because they've just come out with 2 new t-shirts, and from that point of view maybe you would want Shield to win. They also did get beaten down, so logic does say that Shield will win. So although logic says that Shield will win, and I kind of agree with that, I'm just going to think outside the box for a second, and I'm going to go with the Kane and New Age Outlaws win. Although I am prepared that this answer is probably wrong. But I think some sort of screwy finish will happen. Then in probably the best told story so far, in the WrestleMania series, so out of all the WrestleMania storylines, excuse me, John Cena versus Bray Wyatt. The build-up has been fantastic, and I cannot front. The storyline has been fantastic. I think John Cena's been good. You know, I couldn't be asked to do a Raw review this past Monday just because I thought the Raw was But one of the highlights of the show was when John Cena kind of dressed up in the Wyatt suit with the sheep's mask on and stuff. You know, it was good stuff. It was good stuff. You know, as much as I've had some criticisms over the storyline in terms of the way they're trying to show John Cena's fear, I still don't buy that shit. But I do like the fact that they are going down that route, that they are at least trying to tell a story that John Cena's maybe doubting himself. I wish they would execute that a bit better, but I like their thinking. And Bray is always you guys have heard me say it before, I think he's the best promo cutter in wrestling right now, is Bray Wyatt. But I actually think that he's made John Cena almost raise his level in terms of his promos, because even in his backstage interview, John Cena gave a really good promo this past Monday. Who do I think will win? I don't know, man. This one's a 50-50. Logic dictates that Bray Wyatt should win. But just because logic dictates that, all logic goes out the window when you talk about John Cena and WWE and John Cena. Oh, I'm gonna go for Bray Wyatt. I think Cena will get his win back at Extreme Rules, and that's fine if he does that. But Bray Wyatt needs his signature win at WrestleMania, and yeah, I see Cena losing to Bray Wyatt. It might be a screwy finish, but as long as Bray wins, I'm happy. You guys have heard me say this before, when I'm drooling all over myself. You guys have heard me say this before. I honestly believe Bray Wyatt has to win this match. If WWE are serious about Bray Wyatt being the future of this company, he needs to win this match. He just has to win this match. You know, I quite like the whole kind of, you know, Cena's attitude these days of, you know, if you want to be a star, you have to go through me. If that's the case, Bray Wyatt must win. Simple as that. And then your double main event, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar. For me, this match just happened 2 or 3 years too late. You know, I think there was so much hype when Undertaker went to the UFC. That time that Brock had just got his ass whooped by, I think it was Cain Velasquez at UFC, and there was that little kind of like little confrontation when Undertaker was with Michelle McCool, who is his wife, if you guys didn't know that. It was with Michelle McCool in the crowd. Brock Lesnar came by, and then Undertaker goes, "You want to do it?" And then Brock kind of just glared at him and then just walked past. Apparently, from what I understand, both of them wanted the match then, that year, but Dana White wouldn't release Brock to do it for the WWE, which is a shame. That is a shame. And I just think all the heat that they've lost from that, it just came too late in this match, because I just felt, like a lot of you guys, I think I've been so disappointed by kind of like the lackluster build to this. I think they started it really well by some of the promos that Paul Heyman was cutting, and then somewhere along the line it just was like, no one realistically believes Brock's going to break it, but surely you've got to do everything in your power to convince us that Brock may just be a threat to do this. I'm of the belief that I think the streak will come to an end. I really do. I think it will come to an end. Whether I think it's the right thing is another question. I might do a video on that one day. But I really do at some point think it will come to an end. Probably to the right person. Brock probably isn't the right person. He wrestles part-time. He doesn't need to be Undertaker. He doesn't need to. His stock will still be high despite a loss to the Undertaker. So knowing all that, you really should be able to create kind of a belief system whereby you can buy that, you know, Undertaker could be in trouble this year. And they've not done anything. They've built Undertaker so strongly. And Undertaker's my guy. But they built him up so strongly. I'm just like, what am I even supporting him for, really? He's got this. That's the attitude that I have. The only speckle of intrigue that I have in this match, and this is probably one of the main reasons I'm actually ordering Wrestlemania, if I'm being completely honest, is I think that Sting, and I've said this before in a previous video of mine, go check it out. I think it was it's the Would Sting Undertaker be good for business at WrestleMania 31. I actually think Sting will come out. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think Sting will come out. Lights will go out, Sting will appear. He'll distract Brock. Brock would look at him. He won't hit him or anything. Brock will just be looking at him like, what the fuck? Undertaker picks him up, tombstone, drops him on his head. 1, 2, 3. Him and Sting have a stare down. Sting uses his back to point to the WrestleMania sign. Undertaker looks at the sign. WrestleMania 31 match set. Simple as that. That's what I think will happen. It's a bold, very elaborate plan that I have in my head that's probably completely wrong. I just think that would be a cool way to introduce Sting, rather than probably the bullshit way they plan to introduce him tomorrow in Raw. Yeah, I think that that's probably the way it's going to happen. But yeah, Undertaker all the way. The streak is not going to be broken by Lesnar. I've gone for Bray, by the way, with Cena. I don't know if I mentioned that. I'm going with Bray Wyatt. I'm hoping that they will pick the sensible option rather than a WWE option. And then this will be leading into my video. Daniel Bryan versus Triple H. I'm going to talk about the details of this more in my video. I believe Daniel Bryan will beat Triple H. Maybe might make him tap out. Maybe we'll pin him from that running knee of his. I believe that he will leave WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion. WWE World Heavyweight Champion. I'm going to leave it as that because I'm going to go into the details of why I think that will be the case in my next video, my feature video. I've been promising you this video for a couple of weeks now, so I'm going to do it now. You guys let me know what you think of this card, how you think this WrestleMania has been built. and I'll do a WrestleMania review probably Monday afternoon, latest Tuesday afternoon. Alright, take care. Peace!